understand we've been infiltrated and taken over by foreign mega banks that use socialism to get the majority of the people on the take, on the dole, so they'll sell out their birthright of freedom for nothing. It's like Cain and Abel, you know. Cain sold out his birthright, half the land, everything. It was a rich family, if you read the Bible, for a bowl of porridge. Came in and he said, I want that bowl of porridge you're sitting there cooking. He said, what do I get? He goes, everything, my birthright. And you know the rest of the story. After they eat the bowl and it's gone, well, they bash our brains out. Wow, this is a first. My son is now in the control room, punching buttons, talking to me over the microphone. He's chomping at the bit, begging every day to get on air. We're very close to one of my progeny being on air, out of the control room. My son, who's 10 years old, and I'm not just saying this because he's my son, I will put him on air soon. He's going to be part of the news team here because he keeps begging to do it. And because I was reading history books and things when I was 10, but I wasn't half as informed as he already is. And I always conflate stories. When it's news and information, I almost always get it right. I make some mistakes. We correct it when I do. Sometimes I'm thinking about something else, and I say, yeah, they've already shipped General Motors over to China. Now they're shipping Jeep. I tell you, that's what you get bailing out General Motors, where it sounded like I was saying Jeep was General Motors and not Chrysler. I know that it's Chrysler. My dad drives a Jeep Sahara. I'm a fan of Jeep, and I knew that, but I heard the rebroadcast later, and it was wrong. So occasionally, the type of mistakes I make are blaring. And I was conflating the story of Cain and Abel, where one brother killed the other. And my son was smart enough. He wasn't on the on-air mic, though, was he? He was on the conference mic where you guys talked to me. He was on the conference mic, correct? Thumbs up? Yeah, he comes in and pops in my ear and says, Dad, you're wrong about Cain and Abel. And I'm like, ho, hold your horses. So I walk out. He tells me how I'm wrong during the break. We pull it up on the online Bible resources, and he's correct. Been a long time since I was in Sunday school. It's Jacob and Esau. So, son, I'm not going to say your name yet. I'm not ready to destroy your innocence yet and throw you into the shark pit. But we're, you know, no guts, no glory. Fortune favors the bold, and our fortune is liberty that we're looking for. So you want in the shark tank. I was going to put him in the shark tank a few months ago here on the air because he really wants to do it. And my wife is like, no, not yet. But I think she's ready to pull the trigger. So Mama has got to pull the trigger. So don't say your name. Let's put him on air. He can correct me. This guy has written, this is no exaggeration, started reading children's Bibles when he was 5. He now reads adult King James versions, and because he loves it. It's a great history book, and he reads many other history books. But here I'm bragging on my son, and then I'll get into the news and your calls. But son, you can now correct me live on air. Go ahead.
Well, Dad, if you look at the Bible, you got it right that they do get into a big fight, but his mom gets him out of there before Esau can bash his brains out. And also, you got it right about the soup. You just got their names wrong. I'm sorry about interrupting the show.
No, you didn't. Listen, the guys all the time hear me make mistakes, and they don't correct me. And I've asked them, at least when I go to break, to correct me, because when they kind of shout corrections at me, you know, then I'm not quite picking up what they're saying half the time, probably because I'm half deaf. But thank you so much for that. Tell us about the story of the brother that sold his birthright, and then how I conflated. That means kind of like you take two sides of the card deck and you know, put them in together. I know you know what conflate means. What's the story of Cain and Abel then? I know one brother killed the other. What was that fight over? That was over the soup, wasn't it? Or was that the other guys?
It was over, actually, a sacrifice to God. Because God was pleased with Abel's sacrifice because it was a flesh and blood sacrifice, and not Cain's sacrifice because it was actually a fruit and vegetable sacrifice. You see, Cain was a farmer and Abel was a shepherd.
By the way, Wes in there is a big Bible guy, goes to church multiple times a week, reads the Bible with his children every day, and he's in there nodding his head. So see, this is not scripted. I mean, the crews here, they saw my son just came, knew how to hit the button and talk to me on air, I guess from watching. took over the show, and now during the break I said, well, go ahead and officially come on the air then and correct us. So that's the Cain and Abel story. What's the other story that I mixed with the Cain and Abel story?
You see, Esau was the oldest brother by like a few seconds. He came out, they were actually twins. Jacob and Esau were twins. He came out first, so he got the double portion of his father's wealth.
Wasn't the other one holding on to the other guy's foot? Or was that the twins that Abraham had? Well, they weren't. They were fraternal twins, right? And then it made the two nations. No, that was the kid that came later. See, my problem is I got to revisit the Bible because I know this news stuff, but now when it comes to the Bible, it's all just mixed together.
Okay, so can I continue the story now?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. They grew up. Esau was like the best in the tribe at hunting, and he was his father's favorite. But Jacob was his mother's favorite. He was so quiet. He would stir the soup. He would cook.
No, keep going.
It just got cut out for a minute. And so this sort of caused a dynamic between the brothers where Jacob was really jealous of Esau. And one night, Esau had come home from hunting. He had a big deer. And, I mean, he didn't have any deer.
And he was hungry.
Yeah, and he was hungry, and he saw Jacob stirring soup, and Jacob was very clever, while his brother was pretty much stupid. And he tricked Esau into trading the soup for his birthright.
All right. Well, thank you so much for that story. Again, this is unscripted, and you've done a great job. Guys, you see why he's going to do so good on air? I mean, first time, boom, correcting Alex Jones on air. And but hey, with great power comes great responsibility. Remember that. I love you. That's anything else you'd like to add? I'll listen to Badandi out there. Go ahead.
Oh, just thank you for letting me be on the air for the first time. I really hope it turns out to be a good thing for me. And I'm nervous.
All right, I love you, son. Oh man, I'm nervous too.
Bye.
Bye, I love you. Okay, no more jumping on the microphone. Oh, man. Okay, there you go. So he corrected me. I was conflating those two stories.